Well, this cemetery is very historic. It's a repository for a good deal of North Carolina history. It began with the Confederate cemetery, which is up behind me here. You may be able to get it on your camera. That was in 1867 during the occupation of Raleigh by Sherman's Union troops. The women of Raleigh thought the Confederate veterans needed a better place to rest. The battlefield deaths needed a better place to rest than they had, and so they encouraged the men of Raleigh to remove some 500 graves from just east of town over here to this cemetery. And that was really the origin of Oakwood Cemetery. Now, over the years, veterans, as they died after the war, chose to be buried here. So now there are about 13 or 1400 Confederate veterans up behind me here, and another 300 or 400 through the rest of the cemetery. In 1869, some of the city fathers of Raleigh, using the occasion of the Confederate cemetery up here, chose to acquire more land, and they expanded the cemetery. Over the years, it's now just over 100 acres, about 60 of which are developed, with some 200 years more of burying, or burials, 200 more years as an active cemetery, you might say. When the cemetery, the main cemetery, was planned in 1869, the vogue in cemetery architecture was what they called a landscape or garden cemetery. That's why you see the rolling hills and curved roads and shade trees. The idea was that this was, and in fact it is, this cemetery is wonderful about inviting activity here. This is a cemetery for the living as well as for the dead. It's in a way a park. My family and I have been coming through the cemetery for 30 years. And you see that empty field over there. Well, that's where the cemetery used to graze its horses when they used wagons to service the graves, but to us, that's where my kids did batting practice and flew kites. So again, and that's the point. That's the point of the cemetery, that it is to be used. And we have these tours. The Segway tours will be coming through here in a little while. You see moms with carriages, all kinds of activity in this cemetery, and that's exactly what it was designed to be.